Hi, it's Monique, the work from home mogul. Today I want to get a little bit deeper into Poshmark and talk about Poshmark returns and disputes. And today my special guest is Cluelessa.
Okay, I think I get it.
What do you do when you get a Poshmark dispute? Or how can you get Poshmark to be in favor of your return? Stick with us. We would love it if a sale would go smoothly and perfectly every time. Like, you know exactly where your item is. It is exactly in the condition and description that you put it in the listing. You're able to get it picked up or dropped off at the post office like super fast. They receive it fast and accept it as perfect and give you a 5-star review like instantaneously. However, it doesn't always play out that way. Not just if you can't find it or you wrote something wrong and okay, now you have to contact the seller and say, hey, by the way, when you get the item, this is what's gonna happen. Because if not, you run the risk of them looking at it, being disappointed and asking Poshmark to return it because that is not what they signed up for. The quickest way to get a return approved is if it was the wrong size. You sold a size 8 shoe, but when they received it, it said size 7. Like, there's really absolutely no way to get around that. Your descriptions have to be accurate. That's why, like, if you take a picture of something and then you put it up into Poshmark later, if you guess what size it is, that could be a problem. I had a purple skirt one time. I thought it was a size small. I honestly did. I took a picture of it and then it was in my phone, so one day when I had some downtime, I uploaded it to Poshmark. I knew the designer, and I knew sort of the measurements, ballpark, but I definitely put that it was a size small. It showed up to the girl, it was an extra small. There was nothing that I could do at that point. She clicked on Poshmark, is there something wrong with your order? She said yes. She wrote in, this is not a small, took a picture of the label that said extra small, and then Poshmark was obviously like, yeah, you're absolutely right, it's going back to the seller. In which case, it was gonna be sent back to me. What they do is they send the buyer a new shipping label at no cost to either of us, which is cool. And then it's just up to the buyer at that point to put it back in the mail. This particular person didn't mail it, so she didn't get a refund and I still got my money. So she just has an extra small skirt for absolutely no reason. But she could have gotten her refund if she would have followed all of the steps to get the item back to me, to resell or to keep. The second fastest way to get a Poshmark return approved is if there is undisclosed stains. So anything undisclosed in the description that the buyer should have known about, or at least if it's in the pictures. If you're taking pictures of the item and then you're leaving out the stains or you're leaving out any tears or rips, that is a cause for them to completely side with the buyer and send the item back to the seller, which means buyer is refunded and you don't get your money. You get the item back instead of getting your money. The buyer does have to prove that there are tears and rips, and it's easy for them to do that when they take pictures of it. As the seller, if you disagree that this is not a stain, perhaps it's just a dirt smudge or some lint or something that happened in transit, something that could be just wiped off, then you can respond and state your case. Item cleanliness isn't really a reason for items to be sent back unless it's so permanent that it can't be cleaned, which means it's a stain. So if you say, sorry that the item wasn't clean, that's not a stain, it's possible that the dispute will be in your favor. If the buyer is not happy with the item because you didn't disclose everything you needed to in the description, it's better for you just to apologize and to take the item back. But if you really argue that, no, I sent it to you in the condition that I listed, then you're able to respond to the buyers' complaints and explain what is true and what is not true, stating your case. It's easier for the buyer because they have the item with them that they could take pictures of. If they happen to have a replica or something similar to what you sold and they're trying to scam you, that's the only way that they could really take pictures of something completely different, in which it's going to be like a he said, she said thing. This is very rare, but if you're selling high-ticketed, high-priced items, it is beneficial for you to take pictures or even video of you with the item, packing it with the label before you send it off, just to be on the safe side. If you bought something on Poshmark and you just had a change of heart, or you really couldn't afford it, or maybe you're going out of town or was accidental, anything like this, when you buy the item, you have 3 hours to cancel it. Before your seller gets into packing it and printing out a label and going to the post office and doing all these things, you can cancel it. But if you made an offer on the listing and they sold it to you at a discount because of that offer, then it's binding and you're going to receive it in the mail. At this point, if you want to return it, it should only be if it was not described correctly, if it's the wrong size or you're not able to actually use it. It's really not fair to the seller or the postal workers to put them through all of this back and forth just because you changed your mind. So the quickest way for you to get a return as a buyer is if it's the wrong size, or it's just like some shadiness that went down in the listing to make you think that the item was something other than what was posted. Take a look at the item, take a look at the listing, make sure they match up. If they don't, you can say that the description was not accurate because of undisclosed stains, tears, rips, or a wrong size. If you are a seller, to respond to these accusations, you can either take the L or you can respond to why you don't believe anything was undisclosed. If it's item cleanliness and not a stain, you could plead with the buyer saying, this is the discount I gave you, this item is discontinued and rare, and what other offers that you might have gotten if you really, really want that sale to go through. But in most cases, I've had a few that have come back to me and 90% of them resold for higher or around the same amount. You just have to correct the mistakes you made, just taking more accurate pictures, more details, letting people know, hey, this is what you should expect. Okay, it's got a smudge on it, it's got a tear in the back, that they're willing to sew it up. Some people are willing to do things for a lower price, or if they've seen other people bought it, they're going to buy it from you, or they're going to make an offer. So learn from your mistakes and have really, really detailed descriptions. And sometimes people will buy things fast and then you'll realize, oh, I forgot to put this in. Just talk to the person. If they know ahead of time, they're less likely to make a complaint. Now let's hear from our special guest, Cluelessa.
Okay, so you're telling me after I spent all this money on shipping and packaging and making cute little notes and everything, I'm just gonna get it back with the used card and my shipping money already gone?
Well, you know that the buyer pays for the shipping, right?
Okay, but how do they know how much each thing is gonna cost? This jacket is way heavier than these earrings.
All of the shipping is the same price, $7.95.
Oh, so they pay for it and they get refunded everything?
You can give your buyers discounts on shipping, but that will not affect the return shipping price.
So okay, but what if I really just want the money and I don't want the jacket back? I'm just gonna say, no, postal man, you can't drop this package off to me. Back up.
You can refuse the return, but Poshmark will know that you refused the return, which they're not going to be happy about.
But what if I'm not home? Or what if I moved?
There have been cases where people have moved and their address has changed, and then the new owners may have refused the package, but then there's the question of why didn't you forward your address?
Well, like, what do you mean? Forwarded? You could do that?
Forward your address meaning make sure that the postal service knows where to forward your mail since you moved?
I don't know, like, it just seems like a lot.
Poshmark is so simple and easy. All you need to do is go on the app, go to the frequently asked questions or the Poshmark support center. They will answer all of your questions repeatedly.
I don't know, it seems a little sketch.
Thanks, Clueless. Thanks, Work From Home Bodies, for watching this week. Stay tuned for next week. See you then.
So, they